If you had met me 7 or 8 years ago, you would have met a man who was chasing after the Lord. And all the while, outside of the public eye, you would have seen a man who was dissociative and angry, harsh, just afraid. When I was young, I experienced a tremendous amount of suffering at the hands of my parents, a baseball coach, a school teacher. By the time I was in middle school, I had basically made a vow that I was never going to trust anybody, that I had to make my own way in life. And then at 25, I got saved. And even when Christ came and took over my life, I was a mess. There was just an ever-present fear in my life of not being good enough, of being seen as a failure, of not being what my family needed me to be. And the unfortunate side effect of that was I was able to keep up appearances in public, but when I got home, my family was the one that needed to carry the weight of my hurt and my pain. I was driving home one night and I just realized I wasn't becoming the man I wanted to become. And it was the night I just surrendered. I just cried out to God and said, I can't do it anymore. I can't continue to try to be what I think you want me to be. And I need you to make it happen. Like, I need you to show me what I'm missing. And it was that moment of surrender that I think really started this newer leg of my journey. And what I've come to really understand is that a lot of the times when we experience things as a young person, child, those formative years, if they're really difficult and we're left alone, we experience what's called fragmentation, or this brokenness, if you will, of our hearts. Something so hard or so painful that we leave that little piece of ourself behind because it's easier to jettison it than it is to continue to live with the pain of it. And then as adults, we've lost all these beautiful little pieces of ourselves. So then as we work through our stories, what happens is called integration. We assimilate those little pieces of ourselves that we've lost back into our hearts. And ultimately what they do is they give us the sense of healing that we need, but they also allow us to finally rest. That little person in our heart has been guarding our hearts for 20, 30 years sometimes since the experience, and we allow them to rest. We integrate that piece back into our heart and we start to become whole again. Like, not only do I feel it, but my wife is seeing the changes. My children are seeing the changes. The people in my life that I speak to often and I live alongside of are seeing the changes. God is writing my story every single day, and it's in the beauty of the moment by moment that the redemptive work of the cross is making itself real to me.